No matter who you are or where you live in the world, you've probably received one of their packages. Simply add what you want to your wish list, and soon enough it arrives at your address in one of their boxes. But behind this global operation, workers describe conditions as horrendous, exhaustive, and even abusive. They earn low wages for their labor and are crammed into tiny spaces. But this isn't some sweatshop factory in a bullshit country like Indonesia. No, what I'm referring to, of course, is Santa's workshop.
If I had to describe it in one word, hell.
This man, who chose to remain anonymous, claims to be a former employee at the North Pole workshop. So, tell me about your time there.
It was a nightmare. 20-hour shifts, no bathroom breaks, no talking to other employees, management's watching your every move.
Buddy, stop and look at that sign. You, what does that say? Christmas is... What? Speak up, face.
Christmas is 79 days away.
Interesting. Christmas is 79 days away. So why the do I see elves dragging their feet like we're not less than 3 months from insolvency if we don't hit this quota? You, what's your name?
Cornelius?
Well, Cornelius is gonna have to go home and explain to his wife why they're flat broke because he doesn't have a job here anymore. Get the out!
This video was discovered on an iPhone 14 by a child in Springfield, Massachusetts, Christmas morning. If you could explain to us what's going on in this video.
Santa, had come into the factory, and I guess he didn't like this one elf's demeanor, you know, the way he was walking or something. So, you know, in front of everybody, he just stopped everybody from working, and he made an example out of the guy for nothing.
So you recorded this video. Come Christmas time, what did you think would happen?
I guess I thought that somebody would see it, and that they would send help.
While the video was posted online and did go somewhat viral, it was met with a great deal of scrutiny. Experts even called the video fake, parody, even spreading the harmful lie that Santa Claus isn't real. Were things at the North Pole always the way they are now?
No. It actually used to be a pretty joyful place to work.
Is there any particular moment you can point to and say, that's when things changed?
Undercover Boss.
What he's referring to is an unaired episode of Undercover Boss Santa participated in back in 2011. An episode which he believes gave Santa, quote, the complete wrong idea. So the belt's kind of a little tight, huh? Okay, no, you guys good? Okay. So Santa, you've been working alongside these employees for almost 2 weeks now, listening to them talk about their lives, hearing their stories. What do you think you've learned from this experience? I learned I'm paying these little to dance around singing songs all day instead of doing any work. I'm getting fleeced. What changed after that episode?
After that, Santa hired this consultant group, McKinsey. Those guys, they came in and they just rearranged everything.
Was there any backlash amongst the employees?
Oh yeah. This one elf, he really led the charge. He got us together from all different departments and, well, we were getting ready to unionize.
That one elf you say led the charge. Tell us, what was his name?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you. His name was Shimmy Niptree Holodart. And I want the world to know he was a good elf.
Tell us, what happened to Mr. Holodart?
We had it all figured out. We had enough elves to back us, we had our terms, and the day we're gonna present this to Santa, we're walking into the workshop and there's a box labeled to the North Pole Workers Union. Open up the box and there's Shimmy. Oh God.
The police were called and once arrived confirmed that the chopped up remains in the box were indeed those of Shimmer Niptree Holodart. Did the police ever solve the case?
No. You know, the NPPD, they don't care. They ruled it a suicide. and they just moved on.
How did you, the workers, respond to Mr. Holodart's death?
We went on strike.
The brutal strike lasted over 4 months and was by far the bloodiest event ever to occur in the history of the North Pole. So Santa, some are saying that the elves are striking because of poor working conditions.
Who's saying that?
Well, some journalists have come forward
Are you
with
saying
claims-
that?
Not
Because if you're saying that,
directly.
you can just say it. You don't have to go, oh, some people are saying. If you make a claim like that, stand by it.
If I were to make those claims, how would you respond?
What you gotta understand is, I started out with nothing. A $600,000 gift from my parents, that's it. Sometimes if you want to change the world, you gotta move fast and break things. We're innovating like nobody else.
Well, I suppose the
Have
criticism
you ever
would
received
be-
a gift from us?
Yes, I have.
So, you benefit from the system I've created, and yet you criticize it? I don't really understand.
You know, that's really beside the point.
Oh, that's beside the point.
I'd really like to bring our attention back to the.
You know, you're not acting very nice right now, are you aware?
And what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. You know, you're just not acting like someone on the nice list would act. That's all.
Whatever came of the strike?
We lasted as long as we could, but you gotta understand, Santa owns everything at the North Pole. The food supply, the water supply, the housing. We were starving in the cold. By the time we ended the strike, we'd agreed to worse pay than when we started. It was probably the least successful strike ever to occur.
But not every employee we talked to was so critical of operations at the North Pole.
I've worked with Santa for years, he's nothing but a nice guy. Those lying sacks of shit are talking out of their asses. That elf committed suicide, anybody could see that.